What's up, everybody? Chris Lopez here. So I got an email sent to me about benching, a question sent to me about benching from a friend of mine. He said he was stuck at the same weight for as long as he could remember, and he can't seem to break this plateau. So he asked me if I had any tips for him, and I basically told him I'd do a benching video. So here it is. The first thing you should know about benching is that there's a couple different ways you can do it. There's more of a power way to do it, and there's more of a muscle building, bodybuilding way to do it. Obviously, if you want to lift more weight, you're going to have to gear it more towards the power bench as opposed to the bodybuilding bench. But the power bench is basically a closer grip where your elbows are kind of towards your body a little bit more. So you grip the bar a little bit wider than shoulder width, I'd say, and do it that way. And also, once you grip the bar, another way to get a little stronger on your bench is to lift up and squeeze your shoulder blades together. So on the bench, they're squeezed together as opposed to just laying your back flat on the bar. So you lift up, squeeze them together, and lay them on the bar so your back is kind of crunched together. Your shoulder blades are kind of crunched together. And then as far as your feet should be planted on the floor with a small space between your butt and your lower back. So you see a lot of guys who put their feet up on the bench. That's more for muscle building, that your weight that you do is going to drop. The weight that you do on the bench is going to drop if you do that, but it's more to hit the pecs harder. So it's more for building your chest up, if that's your goal. If that's your goal, then putting your feet on the bench is okay. But if you want to lift more, then there should be a slight gap between your butt and your shoulder blades. Not a huge arch. You see a lot of these guys who push up with their legs and their butt comes off the bench. That's no good. You want to keep your butt and your upper back intact on the bench, and in your lower back you can have a little space if you like. So your feet should be planted, and you want to drive off with your feet. Drive up with your feet with your butt and your lower back, or your butt and your upper back attached to the bench, a small gap in between your lower back. Keep your elbows in. See how my elbows are close to my body? Down, around mid-chest, around your nipples, and press back up. Okay? See how I keep my elbows close? And back up. Now what that does is it recruits more muscle in that way. It recruits your back muscles, it recruits your shoulders, it recruits your triceps, as opposed to just your chest. And that makes it more of total body movement, especially if you're pressing from your feet. Now remember, if you press from your feet, you keep your butt and your upper back intact on the bench with a small gap between the bench and your lower back. The bodybuilding way to do it, to build your chest, is to put more direct tension on your chest. To do that, we take a little bit wider of a grip. Not too wide, not like way out here, you know, where it's uncomfortable, but a little wider of a grip. It's not so much in close where your elbows are in. Your elbows are going to be kind of flared out so that your forearms, as you come down, are more like a right angle with your upper arm. Okay? So that it's a little wider of a grip. See how my grip's a little wider, and as I come down, my elbows aren't close to my body, they're a little further away. And that puts more direct tension on your chest. Now, if you even want to hit your chest even harder, you can put your feet up on the bench, and that flattens your back out, puts more tension on your chest. Now, keep in mind, if you do it that way, the weight that you do is going to drop substantially. You're not going to be able to push as much weight, but you'll be able to build a bigger chest. So you should alternate both types of techniques to not only build the strength, but to build your muscles as well. And with one comes the other. So it's a never-ending cycle. You should do both. But that's it. I hope it helped. And one more thing to keep in mind when you bench, especially if you're trying to add more weight and you're doing it the power style, keep your body as tight as possible, as rigid as possible. You don't want to just be, you know, just slopped on the bench like real flimsy like, and just kind of be pressing them out. You know, you want to You want to get your body set. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Feet planted on the ground. Small gap between your lower back and the bench. Keep your body rigid. Keep it tense. The more rigid you keep your body, the easier that weight is going to go up. Because the more rigid you keep your body, the less, movement there is horizontally, and it keeps that motion, that benching motion, in one plane, pushing it up and down, as opposed to coming this way or this way. So if I were laying on the bench and my body's real rigid, the motion's like this. If I'm just sitting here real sloppy, and then I have to stabilize the weight this way and this way as I'm trying to push it up and down. So it works 3 planes of motion. You want to keep it rigid, so the majority of the tension is going up and down. So hopefully that helped. Hopefully that cleared up some confusion on the bench. And that's it. I'll see you guys next time.